One, two, three. Wellness Week Live. What's up, everybody? This is the Christmas show. We're talking Italian Christmas because io sono italiano, miei amici è là in LA, New York, è stata qui, New Jersey. So I wanted to talk about Christmas tradition of Italy, of our Italian heritage. So that's what's up on Wellness Week Live. I am DJ Anthony. That is my friend Rico Graziano. He's in LA. I'm in New Jersey. Grazie tante, Rico, for making tempo oggi. How are you, Rico?
I'm doing great. It's nice out here. We got a little rain, which it never rains, so it's I heard it's our snow day. So yeah, I heard. And my kid is coming outside, and he's like, "What's falling out of the sky?" I'm like, "That is called rain. That's how the real world works."
Bro, well, and off the camera, we were talking about that, how people, I guess, in your neck of the woods there in California are freaking out, like, it's rain! It's like, everybody, like, easy. Sit down. So, Rico, thanks for coming on. And by the way, this is, we're not going to get into this, but I always like to do a disclaimer. We're just two friends talking. We're not giving any medical advice or any legal advice. We're just two friends talking. Unfortunately, in America nowadays, you got to have a disclaimer for everything. So anyways, Rico, let's get into Italian Christmases because you are of Italian descent. I am of Italian descent. And I think it is a wonderful time of year. And I said to myself, who's more Italian than me? Oh, my God, Rico Graziano. By the way, Rico, I was talking to somebody a while back, and she says to me, "Oh, Anthony Coppola, that's a pretty Italian name." I said, "Yeah, that's true." I said, but I go, there are people that have names that are more Italian sounding than mine. And she's like, "Really?" She thought I was the top of the food chain. I go, let me throw a name at you. I go, and she doesn't know you, but I go, what do you think of the name Rico Graziano? She's like, "Oh my God, that's more Italian than Anthony Coppola." I said, "That's the guy I got to have on my show." Yeah. So Rico, good.
It's Alberico Gaetano Graziano.
Jesus
so
Christ.
Just to double down, triple down on
it. There's a pecking order in life, and you got me. As much as Anthony Coppola sounds Italian, Rico's right. Alberico Gaetano Graziano. Anyways, so all right. So Rico, let me ask you something. So, what part of Italy are your parents from? Or are you guys from?
We're a little bit north of Naples and south of Rome. It's a town called Tauran. It's my father's town. It's like growing up, I remember it being like a goat village type of town. You know what I'm saying? Like goat paths. Like no road was like, grid. Everything was just like kind of like Pittsburgh. Like just like wherever the water rolled down the hill was the new road.
Right. And, everyone's just
camminata. I mean, and it was steep hills. Like
right.
I mean,
by the way. Maybe that's why your father moved to Palisades Park, New Jersey, because of the hills.
Yeah. Well, that is, to him, that was the best. He didn't know that you can go flat, like over there. Like it was just, okay. They're very steep. I remember when we had to go to somebody's house, we were like, it was a block away. It was like doing steps at the gym.
Right. That's so funny because, as you know, in our neighborhood, Rico and I, to the viewers, we grew up in a small town called Palisades Park, New Jersey, where you, now I was at the base of the hills, but Nanny Goat Hill was where you kind of grew up in that. There was a nickname for Bergen Boulevard back in the 1920s in Palisades Park. There were literally goats roaming Bergen Boulevard. So anyways, so my family is from Naples, Avellino. So we're basically, you and I are kind of in that same general area.
Very close. My mother's Avellino. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right. Yeah. So now this is a rhetorical question, but okay. So, because I got a pet peeve about, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I'm probably going to. So I got a pet peeve when people say, "Hey, I'm Italian. And then I'll drop in. I'll be like, "Oh, tu parli italiano." Oh, well, no. And so my thing is like, if you're going to say you're Italian or any culture or any nationality, like it pisses me off that, especially as Italians, we don't take an interest in being freaking Italian. Like at least, I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of people who take it for granted being Italian. So, bro, me, like I fucking study Italian every day just because I want to better myself about the culture, about the language. And it's kind of sad because a lot of people like, so I'm Italian, but it's like, bro, come on, man, like get your weight up, people. Like let's take a pride and interest in our culture. So that being said, I'm prefacing that. So growing up in the 70s and 80s, did you speak Italian at home?
Yeah, that's a good question because my parents were right off the boat. They came in on Ellis Island. My mother was in the 60s.
Yeah.
So when they came in, they wanted to learn English, right? So they were teaching us Italian. We were kind of teaching them English, and it was like a very mixed bag in the house. But when something got serious, it went to Italian.
Really?
Like something like like there's a serious situation,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Let's see.
Like like it was a snap to Italian, and that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we talked. It was Italian, but besides that, it was like clean
Mix.
your room,
Right.
wash your hands. But then it was like
Right.
guarda, like watch,
Yeah.
like
Watch it.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, guarda no boga.
Yeah. So that's funny because, and by the way, for the viewers watching, and we're going to get into the Christmas Italian traditions, but we got to do some housework here because Rico and I, we go way back. By the way, we grew up together, Rico and I. So we go back many, many decades. But, and so what I want to say is, and you know this, but ironically enough, our families are kind of intertwined because my nonna and my mother would always be shopping at your parents' Italian grocery shop, since the 70s, since far before I was born. Forever. So, and my nonna was a tough customer. I almost feel bad that she had to be your customer because she was a real, I love me. She rest in peace and I would die for her. But my nonna was Padre Santo Spirito. My nonna was a tough chick. And I was like, I feel bad for wherever nonna goes because, so anyways, so we're intertwined. We went to elementary school together, high school together. We're both class clowns, literally. So in our house too, the short answer is we spoke Italian. That's only because my nonna and nonno, my zias, they spoke Italian, and my nonna she really co-raised me. So she didn't speak English, my grandmother and my grandfather. They only really knew Italian. So we had a parla italiana quando, parla con mia nonna e nonno. And at home, though, when we would leave their house in Fairview, New Jersey, and go to Palisades Park, which is only a mile away, then we spoke English. But my mother was so far up the backside of my nonna. After she left the house, my grandmother's house, she'd be on the phone. My nonna, I'm like, Ma, we were just 5 minutes ago. We were there. Like, why are you calling nonna for? Oh, no, I got to. And then she'd be on the phone almost the half of the day. And so my point is, like, there was always Italian in the house, either on the phone or when we were talking to nonna and nonna. So kind of like you, basically. So there was that mix. It was, but my grandmother would try to speak English, but it was of no avail because she came here in her 40s. So, there wasn't
we had the same, that when you bring it up, like with the other family, like my aunts and uncles and my because my grandmother, as you know, lived in Fairview too, and we lived in Palisades Park. I think that's where we put all the old Italians. Was
Fairview, right? Yeah.
It's like whatchamacallit in Florida where they retire to.
Boca. They go to Boca.
Yeah.
So okay, she had a similar thing. Yeah, because but here's so my grandmother would be like, she would say shit like this. She'd be like, kind of half broken in the best of her ability. She'd be like, Anthony, ma tu sai, the plumber. I'm like, the plumber? She's like, yeah, questa ragazza, she lives next to you, they live next to you, the plumber. I'm like, Nonna, the plumber? I'm like, the plumber, there's no plumber next to me. I'm like, ma che sta facendo? What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, the plumber. I'm like, wait, Nonna, you mean Pamela, the neighbor? Yeah, Pamela, the plumber. So I'm like, Nonna, piacere, parla solo Italiano, okay? Forget about the English, Nonna, because you're fucking it up. Like, I'm thinking the plumber, she's talking about Pamela, my neighbor, and I'm like, no. So I would just tell my grandparents, don't even speak to me in English because it's not going to work. I'm thinking you're talking about the plumber. So anyways, all right, so moving on. So, okay, 2 questions. So during Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, did you help out in the kitchen, or was your mother like, no, lascia sta, like, get the fuck out of here? What was your?
Well, we had the deli. So the deli for December was very busy. We were working 12, 15-hour days.
That was my next question. Like, were you working on Christmas Eve?
We were working, yeah. So like we were working in the deli a lot. So it was kind of like, but if you go on like the Christmas Day when we were closed, we were pretty much told to stay out of the kitchen, stay away. Because it was like, so it was like, so at the store you made the A food for the customers, but at home we made the A plus.
That's
food.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It was like having a chef and then having like a celebrity chef.
Right. 100%,
So
100%.
it was when it came to like cooking in the kitchen on Christmas Day, it was like step away.
Yeah.
But Christmas Eve we kind of had like the stuff from the store because we fried a lot of the fishes on the 7 fishes on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
At the store because you know how it could smell the house. Like, it takes over the house for 2 weeks after the fact.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that, but we would go to my we'd go to my cousin Nancy's house, and we would every holiday in Italian it gets switched around.
Yeah. So I would always help out in the kitchen with my nonna. all year long. But Christmas Eve, that she was like, va fuori, setta guarda la televisione, like just get the fuck out of here. So I'm like, okay. But I would be watching from afar because I had to know what the fuck was going on. But I was just very nosy. So I would now let me ask you this. This is my next question. I think I know the answer, but what's bigger for you, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Well, Christmas Eve. Growing up, Christmas Eve is a celebration.
Right,
that's
100%.
That's the celebration. That's
Italians.
The food.
Right.
Everybody's together. You know, you go nuts. I mean, you're eating. You got more food than you know what to do with. And our parents didn't come up with much, so the fact that they could fill up a table of food to them was like, like the equivalent of somebody buying their first Mercedes.
100%.
To them, my father jokes. All I ever wanted to do was put mortadella. Have my kids always eat mortadella. In the fridge. And I'm like, not even prosciutto, like mortadella, like
Come on, Dad.
He had his bar low. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah, and same here. So Christmas Eve was all about Christmas Eve, right? The zios, the primas, the nonno, your fratello, sorella. And Christmas Day was like a speed bump. It was like, whatever. Christmas Eve. And so the shit got real. So, all right. So, I mean, I know that, like I said, any Italian would say the same thing, but I wanted to hear just.
And Christmas Day was like you wake up. It wasn't too much of a rush. You got ready for church.
Right.
You went to church. You came home, and then you got, you had like an hour lag before you went to Zia and Zia's house or Cacaruno, or.
Okay, so now let me ask you. So now Christmas Eve, obviously, any respectful anybody who's called himself Italian, you're gonna have the 7 fishes. All right. So what kind of fish did you have on Christmas Eve? Because I talked to other Italians and it's like, oh shit, well, I ate something a little bit different. I mean, so because obviously there's hundreds of fish to choose from. So what was typically the fish that you ate on Christmas Eve?
So what we would do is, we would have clams, raw clams. We would have stuffed clams, the baked clams.
Yeah.
Then we'd go to galamad.
Yeah.
Then we'd go to a cold calamad salad. Right. So we had a cold calamad salad. The sauce that we did was a red sauce that had like a lobster and some, mixed other seafoods. We had the mussels.
Yeah.
We had the cod. We had a cold cod salad with lemon, a little oil, a little, that one. And then we had the fried cod. And we had fried shrimp.
Yeah.
I mean, we would go well over 7. Yeah. But the question is, what I need to know is that it's never been answered, is like, if I fry shrimp and I have shrimp cocktail, that's still only 1 fish, technically.
That's true.
But people say that counts as 2.
Yeah.
That's like, because last year somebody made calamari 3 different ways, not calamari, cod,
right,
a bacala 3 different ways, and they were trying to push off that it was 3.
Fugazi, macacazzo. No, listen. Same here. We did flounder, same thing, calamari. We had eel. I don't know why my
yeah.
But nobody ate that shit. I don't know. I was just like, no, ma perché mangiate questa eel? I don't know why, but whatever. Very bony.
Live growing up, and having in my house because they would buy it live. My parents.
I'm sorry, you said what?
They would buy it live. Like we would
no shit.
Yeah, we would see the live eel in the house in the bag, and then they would like cut the head off and do whatever you do.
Yeah, that's next level, bro. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little traumatizing.
Yeah, bro. No doubt. And I think, just generally speaking, people forget, like, Italy is a peninsula. So even when it's not Christmas, Italians eat a lot of fish. You come to here in America and everybody thinks, I'm not going to name the names of some of these restaurants, these chain restaurants which are a fucking joke, but it's like, just pasta bread. It's like, Italians eat a lot of fish, but you're not going to get served that in these places. Anyways. All right. Yeah. So you answered my question about, did you work on Christmas Eve? Because you owned the deli, you had to work. So now, this is one that I always like to ask when people say they're Italian. This is a telltale sign, like, are you off the boat or are you just Italian in name only? And that is 2 things. Number 1, the manger. Like my nonna and even my mother today, there's no fucking Christmas tree, bro. There's like a life-size Christ in a basket with the fucking manger. It's like, bro, holy shit. Like, like that's a telltale sign. Like these people came off the boat. And I love a Christmas tree. I have it in my house, but like I'm assuming you guys had some variation of a manger somewhere in the house.
Oh yeah. We had in front of our house. We had the
Oh, that's
remember
right. I remember seeing that
the
too.
Mother Mary with the
Right,
shell over her,
the
like
Mary and the half shell.
that. We had that one, which is so funny because that's in our backyard now in Jersey. In the same
Wow.
house, but
Yeah.
it's in the backyard of that house now. I don't know
Okay.
why it got moved to the back, but we used to have the Christmas tree and the manger set up under the tree.
Yeah, we had that too. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we did that. So I do that now too with Giovanni, with my kid. We have the manger under the tree, and he plays with them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
we try to tell him the story, and
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah. Well, that's funny because, and I think it turns into a pissing match because like my mother, my nonna, my Zias, it's like, you got a manger this big. Well, the other sister has to get one this big. Oh yeah, well nonna has one this big. It's like, whoa, it's like an arms race. Like who can get the biggest Jesus and camels and fucking sheep and whatever. So, anyways, but now I don't really have that. I just do the tree myself. But I miss those days. Anyway, so okay, now the other question I had is this is a real telltale sign, like if you're off the boat Italian, because I mean, very few. I love zinging this one on people. If I say, "Oh, do you know Befana?" The Italian witch, right? And so, yeah, like right there separates the men from the boys. Like if you call yourself Italian, if I drop Befana and you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, then bro, give me your Italian card, hang it up. Like so, Befana, yeah, we used to kind of co-celebrate the good witch. And if you don't know what the Italian witch is, viewers, in Italy, and I know you know, Rico, but in Italy, they don't have Santa really. They have Befana, which is the good witch, and she comes and does the Santa shit. She comes into the window, drops the toys of the boys and girls, be good. So we kind of had that going on too, Befana. So my mother would be like, yeah, Befana's coming to me. Holy shit, Befana's coming here. But so but did your mother and father kind of mention that or
yeah, they mentioned it, but my father used to say, he used to joke around that Santa Claus is in America and he brings better gifts, so you don't want her to come. Like,
right.
It was a joke, like if you want to do it the Italian way, you can, but she don't bring a gift like
that's right,
like Mr. Santa Claus to bring her.
Yeah, true, bro. True. All right, so now
we tried to work both ends. We were hoping to get both ends, but
it didn't work out.
That's why you had to cut it down and be like, you pick one, and this one is better.
Charles Ante. Yeah, but I always find it funny because I forgot about Befana. I was like, oh shit, Befana. I was like, I got to talk to Rico about that.
Yeah,
The
Christmas witch.
Bro, the Christmas witch. And, it wasn't a pretty witch either. It was like, damn, this witch needs some plastic, bro.
It was like the Wicked Witch. It looked like the Wicked Witch of the West, but they're like, no, she's a good witch. I'm like,
she's a good witch.
13 is lucky. You got the Wicked Witch of the West is good. Like, what's going on?
So I'm telling you. Now, okay, so gifts, like my parents would buy us the toys, but like my Zias and Zios and nonna, like they were getting me socks and shirts and shit. Or I don't know, like what about you? Was it similar?
Yeah, we'd get like a socks and sometimes like an envelope with like $20 in it.
Right, the money.
Like like a 10 or 20 or it depended. But the aunts usually got like the clothing.
Right.
And then like at home we'd get like we all got like because I had my brother and my sister, so we'd get like all one good gift,
right?
Some small, like maybe another small gift, but then there was like the combined gift of like all three of us, which would be like the 12-inch TV for the room or something like I just remember that one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was like or something like I remember Atari. So we got like one cartridge, and then like we all got the box. So that was like our gift. The 1 year was one cartridge and Atari, and we were like.
Now that's interesting because you're one of three children and I'm one of three children. However, we're three boys. You guys growing up were two boys, one girl. So did Rosa, like, obviously she had to have different gifts. She's a girl. I mean, was there like some riff where, because like with three boys, you can kind of get away with some stuff because it's three boys. But did you guys like, did you guys throw shade at Rosa? Like, oh, she got that. What about me? Like,
that's funny you say that because the year of the Cabbage Patch dolls when they came out, it was a difference. So like if you got a Cabbage Patch doll, that was like an A+ gift to where we were getting C's.
Yeah.
Like we were like, whoa.
She's the only girl. So
yeah. And then the Italian girl, the youngest daughter, was always, got a little.
She's the only daughter.
I think by the time we were old enough to realize, we realized already, like, okay. She's the youngest daughter in an Italian family. She gets a little.
Yeah, you're not fighting that. So, what about dessert on Christmas Eve? Like for us, it was. Well, first off, let me say this. people today, like we drink coffee, it's in the Keurig cup. Like, bro, not in the 70s and 80s. It was my nonna. Like, she brought out the fucking tin bulletproof aluminum percolating, stop your heart, ruin your intestines coffee, bro. And it was like, whoa, when that shit was percolating, you had to have skill. Like, you had to know. My grandmother, although not Christmas Eve, but any other day, she'd be like, Andre, vieni qua, guarda questo caffè. Like, if that percolating has to go, I think it's like 3 minutes, something like that. Can't go over, can't go under. So like you would see the bubble from that little plastic, glass top. So we had the percolating coffee. Did you guys have that on Christmas Eve?
Oh yeah. When people talk about coffee and they're like, oh, it keeps me up. I'm like, I remember very clearly, like every night of like a family event, especially on Christmas, everybody would have an espresso made with that same pot, the same pot that they all have. And the best thing about that pot was, and it was so funny, at the store, we used to sell these rubber rings. So when you screw it together, like these things were like, the guys who designed these things were not thinking that they were going to make something that was going to last forever. Because I still have mine here that was from my mother's that probably is 30 years old, maybe more. And all you had to do was replace the little ring that was 50 cents. We used to give them away because they were so, they were $1, they were 50 cents. And somebody would come in with their pot, you'd match it, and that was it.
Yeah.
And the thing would last forever.
It's an heirloom. You can hand it down.
Yeah, you can. I'm not joking. I have like 3. My sister has like 3, and they're like from the originals.
It's amazing, right? Yeah. And I don't know where the hell mine went. My brother or mother might have it still. So now, okay, we got the coffee part done on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So now dessert, like, we had shriadel, the cannolis, the lobster tails. I mean, there wasn't cake, or it was more. Oh, we had the nuts. You had the hazelnuts and the walnuts at the table. Is that what you had also?
Yeah, but do you remember when the anise, when they would cut up the anise?
Yes. Forgot about
that. Was like, that's so funny because I remember back then I was like, we have like all these great sweets on the table. Why do we have anise? And then like we would do like the little cute, now they call them the cutie oranges, when back the tangerines, you know what I'm saying? And like we'd peel those and then like play bingo afterwards.
Yes. Yeah, so funny.
Tumbler. We do a little tumbler.
Right. And you know what's funny talking about, so like I know you grew up like this too, like, and on the holidays, bro, I was drinking alcohol at 4 years old. Like it was, what do you call it? Strega and what the hell did they put in the coffee? I forgot what it was.
Angelica, Sambuca, Amaretto.
Amaretto, right. And the wine. Like, so growing up, it always kind of puzzled me. I'm like, when we were teenagers or whatever, young people say, oh, we're gonna go out and drink. I'm like, I don't get it. I've been drinking since I was 4, bro. Like, I don't have this thing, like, it's an Americano when they're all like, oh, we're gonna drink. It's like, stop, basta già. Like, I was already drinking it literally at 3 years old, 4 years old. I was drinking coffee at 4, bro. Like, no shit. Like,
shit. When somebody, same here. What we used to do when we were younger, we'd have cups of 7-Up, and they would pour a little wine in the 7-Up. Right. So we drink like, and I remember how good that was. Like, but it's not like a drink that they drink like a mimosa. I don't know. I can't remember what a mimosa is, but isn't it like soda and like wine or something?
Yeah.
I was drinking mimosas at 7 years old.
Yeah, and I tell people that, and it's like today, they're gonna call DIFUS on the parents. I was like, bro, I didn't even realize I was pounding. I was like, I don't know, like, so yeah, and so okay. Now you mentioned earlier on about Christmas Eve, how loud it was and everyone's talking. And I miss that because my Christmas Eves today are not that. And I'm not complaining. It's just they're not that anymore. But I always tell people, you don't know what you got till it's gone. And I just assumed growing up, like these Christmas Eves, Natale, the way we celebrated, that's going to last forever. Well, not for me at least. And so I really miss those Christmas Eves that were just, 15, 20 people packed into my nonna's house in Fairview, New Jersey, and 19 conversations going on. You could hear the conversations from literally down the block. Like people are yelling and laughing and just life, and that's a very Italian thing for sure, And so are your Christmas Eves like that anymore? Yes or no? Mine aren't, but...
No, because growing up like you, we grew up in a very crazy Christmas Eve, right? Like looking back, I'm like, and it was like 2 years ago, I was in Jersey for Christmas Eve. Since my mom passed away, my father's been coming to California, and it's been very lax. We have a few friends come over, but it's nothing like it used to be. But a few years ago, I was at my cousin Nancy's house, Charlie's wife, Nancy Piccolo, and it was kind of that, like, like it was a lot of people there, and I was like, whew, I was like, this is a lot. Like, I said to my cousin Nancy, I said, I can't believe you guys are cooking all this food. Like, they had like 10 tray, like, they went to like what it was. And I was just like, man, I don't know, I don't know if it's age or just like, the evolve of like, I don't know. It was just, it was cool to be there, but it was like one of those things, like, I don't want to do that every year, like it's nice, but
you're in a different part of your life now.
It's different part of my life, but I prefer it this way. That, I mean, it was nice that I got to do that, but preferring it this way because it shouldn't be so much stress of cooking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't be stressing out about 7 fishes, even though like we do have it and we do it, but it shouldn't be like, like, oh, I got 5 fishes. Let's fry shrimp and make it to 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I like the joke at the table.
Yeah.
But I like it like this now because it's, it's
more relaxed.
It's celebrating the holiday. It's not the tradition. It's the, we're with family.
Right. Christ's birthday.
It's supposed to be easy. We're supposed to love each other. We grew up in a time where it was like, eat. Eat. Look at all the food I made you. This is how I love you. Where now it's a little different to where it's like, I mean, how many times did your parents ever ask you how you feel?
Never. Yeah.
Why are you crying? Here, eat a schmoyadel.
That's true. Or to your point, so my Christmas Eves are like yours now, quiet, and I'm not complaining. They have a nice thing about them. And you it's funny you mentioned, because during the Christmas Eves in the 70s and 80s growing up with my large Italian family, kind of mini arguments would break out because it'd be like, hey, ascoltami quando parlare, stay out of the kitchen. Like people were like, bro, if any of the men stepped in the kitchen, like, or, like it was, all hands on deck. And it kind of, in a way, to your point, took away from the holiday because little arguments would break out. And it's like, all right, everyone just lascia sta, like calm down, like just so there was battle lines, bro. It was like Super Bowl weekend for my nonna. By the way, Christmas Day though, we did eat lasagna. That was a big thing. Did you guys eat? What did you eat for Christmas Day?
That's funny. Like we used to do that, and it's so funny because now it's like a bigger thing. But I remember growing up, like I was like, they used to do like the fresh pasta with the bechamel sauce and the meat and everything. The pasta was green. I remember it was always like, it was so good, but it was so rich. And and now that I go to like nice restaurants and I see it, and I'm like, oh wow, we were like 35 years ahead of the curve. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we would have lasagna. I think Manigot was Thanksgiving. I can't remember, or was it Christmas Eve Manigot? Like, I can't remember. Like, there was Manigot in one of the holidays that we would have like, maybe that was Christmas and Christmas Eve was the lasagna. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Right. No, funny. Yeah. So lasagna was that's what my nonna and my mother and we did on Christmas Day. And the thing that pissed me off was, so like all my cousins and everybody would come on Christmas Eve, but then Christmas Day, we would go back to my nonna's in Fairview, New Jersey. And the big draw was the lasagna, but it would piss me off because some of my cousins wouldn't come and I knew they were home. And then they would tell my aunt, oh, like, can you bring it back for us? And I'd be like, hey, you're not here? Fuck that. You're not eating this shit. Like, I couldn't make that call because I'm not the one. I was a child, But in my mind, I was like, yo, they're not here. Like, why? Don't bring shit home to them. Like, I know they're home doing nothing. Like, they could come. So I really used to get pissed because like lasagna was once a year, or maybe if it was your birthday. So, but that wasn't another big plate. But it, again, paled in comparison to Christmas Eve, which was like all in. By the way, kind of off the subject a little bit, but on the subject of food, I have another pet peeve, and I don't know about you, but like when people, this really gets my crow. When people say like, for in certain words with food, they'll be like, okay, like mozzarella. I'm like, it's not mozzarella struns, it's mozzarella. You got to roll that R, or like manicat, or what's the other word that pisses me off? That I'm just like, stop, please stop. Like, no, like you gotta. Come on, people! Like, roll the R, make it sound.
It's not that hard, but you know what? It also is like almost a secret word. Like when I go to a place out here and they're like a real Italian place, and I'm like, oh, let me get a little mozzarella. Like they hear it, it's almost like a word. Like okay, he knows mozzarella.
Right. It's
like,
not mozzarella.
I'm not gonna give him the cold stuff. I'm gonna give him the stuff that just got made.
Right.
Like it's almost like to tell to somebody who knows. Like if you say it to me, I'm like, oh, he knows.
Yeah, or like, oh, prosciutto. It's not prosciutto, you fucking struns. It's prosciutto. You want prosciutto. Like, fucking roll the R. If you're not gonna do it, don't say it. So like, anyways, but it's so easy. But it's just like, dude, what? Everybody else, they got their culture.
a part of me almost kind of likes it like that because it's like a little secret code word. Like, like when I go to that Italian place, they say put a little mozzarella on there. They put mozzarella. It's not no thin slice. They're not giving me the cut or the provolone or whatever. They're putting on a nice thick cut of mozzarella.
I shouldn't be angry then. I should be like, you
gotta take it for what it is. I mean, out there's more Italians that it would annoy me more, but here there's so many not Italians that I'm like,
By the way, and if people don't know watching, Rico literally can make mozzarella. Like he's not only he knows how to say it, but this man makes or has made probably hundreds of times. Right. So like you're the OG, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But mozzarella, I've made it all.
Right.
On Christmas Eve, we used to make like almost 1,000 pounds. Literally, I would make the mozzarella and they would put towels around my hands and I would just sit there till they got dry enough to make them again. Wow. Make it again all day. We had pots of water boiling. We'd go through so many skids of curd. It was crazy.
Yeah. And you mean
it was crazy.
Parents, your family did such an amazing job and such a quintessential when you think of Italian delis, the deli that Rico owned, in Fairview, New Jersey, that's what you're envisioning. That's what it was like. The smells, the sounds, how long did you guys have? I mean, it had to be decades, right? That you guys had that.
Yeah, deli? No, we had it for 40 years. We had it for 40 years. And then when my mom passed away, we did reconstruction on it. And then we got offered a number to where, now we still own the place, but like now we rent out the, where it was and everything. Right. But
I pass it all the time. And I remember going there when it was in on the border of North Bergen. It was a little man.
God, somebody wants to say hello.
Buongiorno.
This is Giovanni.
Come sta? How are you? Are you being a good boy?
What does he always say to you?
Managgia. Yeah, oh boy. This is the new one too.
Close the door. Oh, watch your head. Close the door. Yeah.
When people are going like this now because Tommy DeVito from the Giants.
I know. I saw that now, and I'm like, is that Italian racism going on? What's happening
there? Right? Yeah. But I have to laugh. Like people, like they just found this out. It's like, bro, this has been going on forever. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. But it's been around forever, guys. What's going on?
Yeah. They're late to the game. But it's nice to see Tommy DeVito doing well, whatever. But so now like you brought your son and he's so adorable. Do you guys I'm assuming you do because you kind of said in so many words, like kind of teaching him about the traditions of, our grandparents and our ancestors and our culture. I mean, I know your son won't maybe have like the immersive experience like you and I had because it's just not, a lot of the nonnas and zias are no longer with us. But so do you guys, I guess, teach him Italian words or tell him about your family? And I mean, he's a baby right now, but as he gets older.
Yeah, he's 5. But what's good is that we have one of my closest friends out here, Christina and Paul Constabile. Paul is from New Jersey.
Okay.
And he grew up right by we are, both of his parents Italian. He's us.
Yeah.
So we really do push, like we almost do it like obnoxiously push the Italian on him because his kid is 6 and Giovanni's 5 and they're best friends.
Oh, cool.
And I knew his wife before he met her. So we were like, we're like family. So we really... we like pushing the Italian thing, like the whole thing. Like we do go over the top. It's great. It's great when you find that, like, you find your people, right? Like,
your niche.
Luckily enough, we found them, and we like to push that stuff on. Like I said, we got the manger.
Yeah.
Carmela knows what Carmela and Giovanni. Paul and Rico.
Right. Let's get more time. Yeah, because I don't know about. I think it's you have the same situation as me. It's like it's hard now for me to keep my. It's hard for me, first off, to even speak Italian because I don't have anyone to speak to. Those people have passed away or they moved away. And it's kind of sad in a way. It's like I see my Italian traditions slowly slipping away because there's only so much I can do. I'm literally, Rico, I literally every day speak to myself in Italian in conversation. I train myself because I'm like, I don't want to let it slip away. Like not only the language, but, just the little cultural things. But it's hard because, like I said, if you don't have those people around you, my nonna, they're not around anymore, and my mother is, but we speak English for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's I guess it's life, right? I mean, it is what it is. It's bittersweet. New generations blossom, and old ones kind of fade away, and you make your own new traditions and whatnot. But so I mean, do you speak Italian to anybody or anymore?
That's funny you say that. So Paul speaks Italian. He lived in Italy for like 3 years, my friend Paul, and he's Napolitan.
Right.
So you know, like there's different dialects, and now it's not like it used to be. So I speak a very like they joke and call it San Gianadese because it's like from San Gianada, like the old. I speak a dialect of a dialect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I get it.
So, but Paul understands me. I understand him, and we talk. But what's funny is that it does click in pretty quickly. Like it does take me about 20 minutes or so of like being around an Italian person to where then all of a sudden it just starts, and it's more of a confidence thing. I think when I speak Italian to somebody, like I start slow with the basics, and then all of a sudden, before I know it,
palabras
you know, I know how to communicate. And then like if there's something I can't, I do it well enough to where they like, you know, like
they get it.
You know, like you know, oh, bicchiere. Oh, okay, you know, like you know.
Yeah, no, and I guess that's what, so I'm in the same boat, you know. So, and it's funny because I will force myself, as you know, I'm in the entertainment business like you, and when I DJ, and if I, you know, like if I find out somebody's Italian, I will definitely push that and see if they speak. And it's funny because sometimes I get myself into deeper water than I am able to handle. I was at a pastry shop in Wayne, New Jersey a while back, and my brother's sitting with me, and I like to kind of rib my brothers because I'm like, I'm the only one who speaks Italian, you know.
They're the Americans, like
right. So, and that kind of, you know, I'm always kind of poking them and prodding them. So I was out with my one brother, and we're at this pastry shop, and it was great. And well, I find out that the owners are Italian, and then the staff is also from Italy off the boat. So the waitress comes over, and I'm like, oh, you know, so I'm trying to show off to my brother. I'm like, oh, you know, buongiorno, signora, and she's like, oh, come sta? But she spoke proper Italian, and I speak also dialect, you know, Napolitan.
We speak.
So she put me in my place, bro. She's like, oh no, you know, do no parla Italiana, you know, like correct. And I'm like, what? And so she's like, yeah, you know what? And then in English, she goes, it's better we just speak English to each other because, you know, you don't speak. Bro, I felt like such a biggest piece of shit. And so my brother was like, yeah, fuck you. Like to me, you know, like, you know, you don't know shit. So I was just like, wah, wah. And so from that day forward, I'm like, that's it. I'm Rocky Balboa training, bro. Like, I'm not going to get stuff like that ever again. Yeah. So, but, you know, anyways, she spoke proper Italian. She went to school in Italy, and I'm, you know, I speak, like you said, dialect.
Well, that's what I mean. There was a point where like they decided like somewhere along the way when we were growing up, they were like, all right, we're going to speak this type like dialects. Yeah. And the best to describe a dialect is like somebody down south. Like if you met like somebody from down south and they're like, well, how y'all doing? That's the way we speak. Like Napolitans, we're that person in Italian.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah, hoagie, the hero sandwich, 2 different words.
Yeah. Ida's my friend Ida's mother is an Italian teacher. She's from Italy and she teaches Italian. And whenever I speak to her, she can't help herself from correcting me. Right. And now to enough to where, because I speak Italian with her all the time when I do see her, that she just stopped doing it because she understands it. She's like, I'm not going to, like Mr. Blasio back in the day, our Italian teacher.
Yeah.
When I would speak to her, she'd be like, to teach you would have to take you back and it would not serve the, you know.
Bro, that's why I always failed de Blasio's classes because I know
terrible.
It would have been better if I was just Irish and didn't know shit, and then I would have probably did well. But I'm like, what? That's not how we say that at home, Signora de Blasio. So yeah, it's tough. But by the way,
she seed me and was pretty much just like, she's like,
there's no
you know more than everybody, but you know less than everybody.
Right.
You know?
By the way, she's still
now teaching. I get it.
She's still teaching, by the way.
No way. You know who I saw, Miss Patliano.
She just retired. She was like the superintendent. She really rose up high. Yeah, I saw her too.
Yeah, she came out. She came out here to visit us, and we hung out with her and his daughter. Right? What's that?
You close to your sister?
Yeah, she's very close to Rosie. Yeah. So we were all,
I love her too. She's great.
She's great. We went to Disneyland with her when she came out here. So we went to Disneyland. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Pal Park. That's another show. You and I in high school, and the whole my lord, we can go.
It's the weirdest thing. Our town. Nobody's heard of what we happened. Like, did something traumatizing happen? Did we see aliens or something? Because everybody's still so tight compared to like I can name 25 people that I could say I talked to that are from high school, and people are like, I don't know 2.
Yeah. Like, it is weird because even myself too, I'm like, am I crazy for this Pal Park thing? Because it's just me. But you know, and I'll put it like this: someone told me a while back, you know, he said to me, Anthony, we grew up in a special time in a special place, you know, and I mean, Pal Park is still special, but it was unique in that time.
No, it was.
Yeah, and I tell people of my high school experience, and they'll laugh at me. They're like, bro, did you go to jail? Did you go to high school? I'm like, yeah, there was some wild shit. Like it was, so, and yeah, but it's funny and we laugh, but yeah, like I put up a post. I don't know if you saw it. I think you did. You liked it on Facebook, and I said Happy Festivus, right? And yes. I photoshopped patio furniture on the high school roof. And I told somebody, that's not even a joke. Like, that shit happened. Like, I'm not going to name the person, but their patio furniture was put on that fucking roof. So, and it was just, that's the type of shit that went down. But it was cool. It was a special time and a special place. So,
yeah. The things that we did that, like, yeah, you're right. It was a special time. Whoever told you, they nailed it. Special time, special place of like,
yeah,
very small. To people don't get it. I'm like, we lived in 1 square mile.
Right. You can walk the town.
2 Catholic churches.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You were the St. Nick's. I was the St. Michael's.
Yeah. Exactly. It was like we had CYO bet. We played against each other.
Right. Right. Yeah. And by the way, I mean, you and I were on the same championship football team. Although you started, I was the bench warmer. But I
was the bench warmer like for the first half of the season. I was never. People ask me, I'm like, I was never a good athlete. They're like,
but you did play, bro. You were instrumental. I mean, were you left guard or right guard?
Yeah, left tackle. Yeah, left tackle. I mean, I did play and I started, but I didn't start the season starting as a senior. But it's funny because Giovanni's bigger, like literally a foot taller than everybody in his class. But he's so big that he's clumsy. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna be. I'm like, no, he's not. I'm like, I was not a great athlete. Melissa was a
showed You showed up.
Yeah, I was like, I showed up. We did what we did. Yeah, we made that team together. We put that team together.
Yeah, man. No,
camaraderie. That's what we brought to that team.
Through that, I mean, someone had to carry the water. I was the water boy. My job was to get my ass kicked by everybody. I remember lining up against Paul Hahn, like all state.
Oh yeah, he was a monster.
So we're still close. We talk, and I had to laugh because I in my mind, during practice, whatever, it was practice squad, and I was like, I don't see why everyone's kissing Paul's ass. Like he ain't shit. So like, during a practice run or whatever, Monge puts me on to pair up against him. And bro, I mean, he flung me like a rag doll. And as I'm flying in the air, I'm like, now I get it. But yeah, it was a lot of good memories. And, anyway, but Rico, thank you for making time. Is there anything else before we wrap up? I just want to wish you and your family a Buon Natale, a Merry Christmas. And
thank you.
And thank you for coming on, dude.
Yo, man, thank you for having me. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, I'd watch a show and be like, yo, man, when's Anthony going to get me on?
Yeah, no, trust me. I'm looking for
I'm like, yo, what am I going to do, dude? Like, I'm stalking him. I'm liking every post, commenting, like, when's he going to get me on the show, dude?
Listen, you're a comedian. I'm a comedian. But how's the comedy circuit working out, by the way?
It's good. It's good. It's, it's funny. It's a hustle because, you have to, it's weird because you have to, prove yourself out here. And it's kind of cool because, you know how we are. We know we're funny, right? But it's like, what I got lucky is that a few years ago, I got in with a few guys who were very big on being clean funny.
Right.
Right. So I didn't understand because I'm like, oh, if I could tell like a dick joke, he's like, you know what? When you stay clean, he's like, it lasts longer.
100%.
You can go anywhere. You can work anywhere.
Rico, I was admonished because I also I'm not like you, but I do comedy. I do stand up. I've performed at Gotham in the City and Comic Strip.
And Gotham's a great
Factory. And again, I'm not a headliner. I just,
same thing. 10-minute set.
Right. However, I think I was at Gotham and one of the comedians pulled me over. He's like, hey man, you don't have to curse. Go clean. And initially I was like, fuck you. But then I was like, you know what? No, but he's right. I think you're right about that. Like when you can go clean, you're not relying on dirty words to carry you, so to speak. Like you're working on your content, So yeah, kudos to you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was just it's simply one of the things that I got that I understood the guy. He says everybody could tell that dick joke and you're gonna get the laugh, but it's not something that's gonna people are gonna remember you by. And I was like, oh, and I'm not saying clean, I'll say the F word, I get it. I'll talk dirty joke or whatever, but it's not the easy, the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. But and I said the same thing. I'm like, what? That's who I am. I was like, oh, but dude, California's great. I can't wait till you come out here, man.
No, it's funny.
You're always more than welcome. My house is always open to you, bro. I got a kid somewhere else.
And I will be coming out because actually I have I just made a friend out. Well, I know a few people out there, but the guy who helps, I shouldn't say help, he co-hosts my show Wellness Week sometimes. His name is Magnus. He's great. And he's in Southern California. The funny thing is he has a tie-in with Pal Park. He played European football with Miletic.
No, oh my God. I can't believe you're saying that. I just thought of that out of nowhere the other day.
he was, and Miletic, I think Miletic said this, or Magnus said this to me, my co-host on Wednesdays. He said that Miletic said he was Miletic's favorite wide receiver to throw to. And so I was like, no shit. And so we got hooked up together as a friends through Jason, because Jason mentioned, hey, you should interview this guy. You know, he's great. He's a biochemist and all. I'm like, oh, really? So he's out in Cali, and he's like, bro, you got to come to Cali. I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to. So when I do come to Cali, I'm visiting Magnus and I'm visiting you. You're in Southern Cal, right?
Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles, Southern California.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So is he. So yeah, I have, obviously double the reason to come out there, and I've flown over Cali, but never been to. But I definitely, it's on my list.
That's so crazy. The other day I was driving in the morning, bringing Giovanni to school, and I said, Jason played European football. I was like, oh my God, that's right. Like, for some reason I haven't thought about it for 20 years, and it just popped in my head. And the fact that you're saying that now, I'm like, wow, that's really weird, because.
Yeah,
it was a Lisa Loeb song, because I remember I used to like Lisa Loeb, and I said to Jason, "Oh, I like this girl Lisa Loeb," and thought he was gonna make fun of me. And he's like, "Oh my God, she's here in a concert." Oh, and he was in Europe, and that's how that happened.
Right. So and now I got hooked up with Magnus as my co-host on Wednesdays because of Jason. Cool. And so, and he's in Cali and all this stuff. So, anyways, bro, it was a pleasure meeting up with you. I want to say, but talking to you again, and yes. And same here, bro. Let me know when you're back. I know you come to Jersey, and hit me up. I love to see you too. And you're a celebrity.
Tell everybody I said hello and I love them and I miss them. Tell your brothers are awesome.
Purale, grazie, tutto go. Thank you. Same to you and your family. Say hello to everyone. And Merry Christmas. Rico, thanks again for making time. Everybody, don't forget, like and subscribe. And thanks again, Rico. I'm signing us off in 5, 4, 3, 2.